You might be asking yourself, why should I run paid ads for my gym? And it's totally a fair question, especially with all of the different opinions and things that you see on social media. There's different gurus and experts that are trying to sell their tool or system, and a lot of them are saying that Facebook ads work. A lot of them are saying that Facebook ads don't work anymore. You shouldn't use them. And it's just kind of all over the board, right? You don't know what to believe at times. So what I'd like to do in this video is just walk you through basically the pros and cons of different traffic sources. And if we narrow it down, there's really only 4 ways to get leads, right? There's 4 buckets. Now, before we get into those 4 buckets, I just want to point out a quick story from one of my clients. Leah, she just got 120 new members in 60 days with paid ads for her gym. She literally couldn't have done that waiting on referrals or waiting for people to find her website. Ads are literally the only way she would have gotten that result. A lot of the gym owners that I talk to, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a way to grow quickly, a way to get more members in the door. Let's go ahead and break it down real quick. Let's look at the 4 main sources of traffic here. We got networking and outreach, organic and search, referrals, word of mouth, and then of course paid ads. So I'm just going to go through the pros and cons of each one of these. So networking and outreach, things like local events, going to like Chamber of Commerce meetings, doing like workouts in the park, or some sort of strategic partnership with other business owners in your area. Time is a huge issue, right? It's going to take a lot of your time personally or your team's time. And in terms of costs, it's probably going to cost quite a bit. A lot of the time it costs you to run a booth. If you're doing like a workout in the park, of course, that's not going to cost you that much, but you also have team members. If you have some of the coaches or trainers in your gym helping with these events, you're going to have to pay them as well. You're probably going to have to get some banners, some signs, a booth. Maybe it's an upfront cost, but there's going to be some cost there, right? In terms of effectiveness, not that great. You can definitely get some good quality leads from it, but again, it's going to take some work and the volume of leads is going to be pretty low. Predictability is definitely not great. Your scalability is awful. You might be able to squeeze in one of these a week if you try really hard and put in a lot of effort, but that's just not something scalable. Speed, this is going to be something that is not fast. It definitely takes some time. It is slow. There are some benefits to it in terms of people getting to know who you are in the community and things like that. I'm not saying that this is something you shouldn't do. I'm just saying this is really something that I would not want to rely fully on for the growth of my gym. And then in terms of control, you don't have a ton of control. If this is like an outdoor event, it could rain. There could be very few people that show up. It's just really tough. So quality is really the only thing that I like from networking and outreach. It's a politician's approach of shaking hands and kissing babies, but it does work. It gets you some good quality. In terms of organic and search, time and effort, a lot of people would give this a green check mark because they think that organic and search is just people finding you. But the reality is it takes a lot of time to build something that people can find. You have to build your website. You have to get it ranked using SEO. You have to post really good organic social media posts and content to get eyeballs on it. All of that affects how many people will find you on Google. If you really want to focus on organic and search, in the long term, it's going to help a lot. This is something that everybody should have. They should have a website. They should be getting Google reviews to boost their Google rankings. They should be very specific and strategic with the keywords they use and the metadata they have on their site. And they should be getting things like backlinks and such to boost their SEO and help them get ahead of the competition. But all of those things I just mentioned take a lot of time. I have a lot of clients that I've helped with their websites where it's taken them a good 6 months to a year to get to where they're ranked high enough to where they can beat their competitors. And those are in competitive areas. It might only take you a couple of months to get these things in place, but still a couple of months, that's a lot of work up front. Also, it can be a lot of cost. If you pay a website designer and you pay someone to do your SEO and you pay someone to help with your organic content and all of those things, otherwise this will be a full-time job in the beginning. So it is not cheap and it does take a lot of time. In terms of effectiveness, it's absolutely effective and it's going to be worth it. Everyone should do this whether they're going to run ads or not. You should absolutely focus on building your website and SEO and having that organic social. When you're thinking about the quality of leads you're going to get from different traffic sources, you have to think about their journey. When it comes to someone finding your website or someone that finds you on Google, you have to keep in mind they're doing all the work trying to find you. If they're looking for you and they find your website and it's exactly what they're looking for and they opt in, their intent level is so much higher than a lot of other traffic sources. And these are usually the easiest people to sell because they're already pre-sold for some reason. Maybe they need to lose a lot of weight and their health suffering because of it. There's different things that can affect this, but they're usually the best leads. The problem is they are not very predictable. You do not know how many people you're going to get through your website, your organic social, or from Google every single month. The lack of consistency in results is really what suffers here. So yes, you need it in place, but you can't fully rely on it, because if you have a really low month or a low couple of months from your website, that can really put you in a bad spot. In terms of scalability, it's not great. The volume of people that are going to be searching for what you do is pretty low. I actually have a great example for this. So this is direct data from Meta and from Google showing exactly what kind of audience reach you have and how many Google searches are coming in each month for these different keywords. So if you look at this, the biggest keyword here is gyms near me with only 4,400 searches. And that is in the same city that there is an estimated audience on Facebook of 415,500 to 488,900 people that you can run your ad to, just to give you a little bit of perspective. But if you are a boxing gym or a CrossFit gym or a jiu-jitsu school or a kickboxing gym or a martial arts gym or a personal trainer, look at how low these searches are. 30 a month, 10 a month, 10 a month, 10 a month, 70 a month, 260 a month, compared to almost 500,000 people in the exact same city that you could reach with your Meta ads. That's roughly 95 to 110 times more reach than just waiting for Google searches. Hopefully that paints a good picture of what you're doing if you're just relying on Google traffic. You don't have the scalability with it based off of the people that are looking for your gym. When it comes to speed with organic and search, it really depends on how long you've been in the game. But if you're just starting out, that's going to take some time. In terms of control, you have very little control with what Google's going to do, how many people are searching for you. If there's a lot of competition in your area, then it might be an uphill battle. But if there's not much, it might be pretty easy to get ranked. You might be able to get a lot of traffic through your website pretty quickly. So it just really depends. But these are the issues that I'm typically seeing when it comes to organic with my clients. All right, now we're moving on to referrals and word of mouth. So this is things like bringing a buddy, asking for reviews, and having your members talking about you. This is going to take some time. This is not something that just happens quickly. Now you can build systems around it, and there's strategies you can use to get more direct referrals from your current members, but it is going to take time. In terms of cost is pretty low. Maybe the cost of a little piece of software or maybe printing some of those buddy passes, but it's really not that bad. In terms of effectiveness, it is very effective. It's almost like having a bunch of mini salespeople running around talking about your gym when this is done right. In terms of quality, these are some of the best quality leads. These are people that are hearing so much good things about you from your current members. So really what it comes down to is just getting them in the door, them experiencing it, having a great experience, and then converting them to a member. Predictability is really not there with this one either. It's kind of one of those things where your members have to have a really good experience themselves and they'll just naturally talk about it. But if you're missing the mark on some of the member journey and some of the retention systems that you need in place to give them that awesome experience, you're going to have up months and down months. So you really have to have the strategy down and you have to have a good system in place for this. In terms of scalability, it's not that great either because you only have a certain amount of members. They can actually talk about you and they can only talk about you so much. And realistically, they're only going to talk about you so much. So scalability is tough, right? You cannot rely only on this for growth. Speed isn't something you can rely on with this either, because a lot of the time when you get a new member, it's going to take them some time to really get to the point where they're going to leave you a raving Google review or they're going to refer a lot of people. Now, if you do it right, you can get a lot of excitement in the beginning, like honeymoon phase with a new member, and you could get some referrals and word of mouth from them, but really it's over the lifetime of a member that you really want to capitalize on this. So it takes some time. And unfortunately, we just don't have nearly as much control as we'd like to with referrals and word of mouth. It really comes down to the relationship you have with your members and the experience that they're having. So again, referrals and word of mouth, very important. You should be definitely focusing on this because it basically costs nothing. It's very effective and you're going to get really quality leads from it. Just take some time. It's not super predictable. It's not scalable and it's not very fast. All right, moving on to paid ads. So specifically, we're talking about Instagram and Facebook sponsored posts that have an offer and a direct call to action that prospects can take action on immediately. In terms of time, this really does not take much time at all once you know how to do it. It's going to take a little bit of time in the beginning to learn the skill. And if you really want to go faster, reach out to us. I'd be happy to jump on a call with you. You might be spending 30 to 60 minutes at the most a week once you learn the skill managing your ad. We have clients that maybe spend 20 minutes a week, if that. Cash to run it, this is one of the only downsides because it's going to cost some money. You typically have to spend money to make money, right? But if you know your math, when you put in $1, you can typically get $3 to $5 out within 30 days. That's a game that I'll play all day long. In terms of effectiveness, it is very effective. Remember the example I showed earlier with Leah. She got 120 members in only 60 days. That's an average of 2 members a day. That's pretty effective. If you do it right, you can get quality leads. It's very predictable compared to all the other traffic sources we've talked about. This is the most predictable because I know when I spend $10, $20, I know I'm going to get at least 1,000 impressions. I know that once I create my baseline for my market, when I spend a certain amount, I know what my cost per lead is going to be. And I know what my cost to acquire a customer is going to be once I do the math and I have a couple months of data from my ads. When you have the right things in order and you have the right systems in place, doubling your revenue with your gym could literally just mean doubling your ad spend over a period of time. It really is that scalable when you do it right. In terms of speed, it is the fastest way to get leads for your gym. Once you learn how to run ads, you can literally create and launch a campaign within minutes, and you have total control, especially when you're running the ads yourself and not relying on an agency. You can increase your ad spend, you can decrease it, you can turn it off, you can launch a completely new campaign. You can do whatever you want based off the data. So let's zoom out a little bit. If we look at this, comparing this to the other traffic sources, network and outreach, we only have 1 green check mark. With organic and search, we have 2. With referrals and word of mouth, we have 3, but with paid ads, we have 7. The only thing is that it costs some money, but the cool thing is you have total control how much you spend. So again, just to re-emphasize this example I gave earlier with Google searches versus Meta, this is a fairly large city that I use as an example. There was only 4,400 searches for gyms near me. In that same city, there's almost 500,000 people that you can run your ads to. And again, this is just an example. I'm not trying to say that those 500,000 people could become members. Not all of them are going to be great fits. The point is you are very limited with the volume, control, and the speed that you have with Google searches. But the cool thing is if you use all 4 of these methods, your paid ads will actually feed into your referrals and word of mouth. It will feed into your organic search. It'll also feed into your networking and outreach if you have your strategies dialed in. It's basically the force multiplier that will amplify the results of all of the other 3 buckets. So that's exactly why you should run ads based off of the 8 indicators that I shared here that I look at when it comes to traffic and direct data from Google and Meta. So hope that's helpful, and we will see you in the next video.